Hello people of the internet, this is Lee, and today I will be reviewing Sensational Comics featuring Wonder Woman, issue number 1. This is a new ongoing from DC. It's actually, the way they have it set up is it'll be different creative teams monthly. In this book, it's 2 stories, each with a different creative team, and I don't know if it'll always be 2 or sometimes it'll be 1. It really isn't very clear in previews, so we'll just kind of see. But in this particular issue, the first story is called Gothamazon, and it's written by Gail Simone with art by Ethan Van Sciver, except for a single page that is done by Maacelo de Chiaaa. I think it's Chiaaa. And a second story called Defender of Truth. That one's by Amanda Deibert, with art by Catt Staggs. I'm going to talk about each of the stories individually since there are 2 here, and with them being different creatives, they deserve just to be reviewed individually. The first story by Gail Simone, Gothamazon, I was not a fan of. I thought the art was pretty good by Ethan Van Sciver. However, the colors are super just saturated and lurid, very vivid, and I didn't care for that. It harkened back to Joel Schumacher's 1990s Batman movies. So if you're a fan of those, this might be something worth picking up for you. But for me, I don't like that kind of saturated color. It also has a large ensemble of the Gotham villains. So same goes, if you liked the 1990s Batman movies after Tim Burton left, then this might be a good fit for you. But yeah, essentially, yeah, the art, too lurid for me, but technically good as far as the drawing itself. The story felt really untold. It felt like pieces that were storyboarded, thought through, but never actually linked together. For example, on the very first page, we see that Batman, Nightwing, and Robin appear to have been blown up by the Joker. They never refer back to this through the story. We can assume they're incapacitated because of the big boom. But aside from that, that's all we have to go off of. And yeah, so we don't know how long the heroes of Gotham are gone. We don't know how badly they're injured. We know nothing about that because they just don't come back around to it. Instead, Oracle, it was actually part of the reason I picked up the book. I saw that Oracle was going to be a part of it, that based on Wonder Woman's outfit, this was just going to be something that took place prior to the New 52, and I was curious about a single, quick, standalone story that just wasn't part of any of the New 52 continuity. It turns out Oracle's there for maybe 2 panels total in the entire story, so she was really overplayed in the synopsis, and that didn't please me either. Essentially, Wonder Woman is brought to Gotham. She fights the bad guys, and that's really it. Like I said, there's no context. I understand that it is half a comic book, so there's a limited number of panels she could use to convey a story, but it doesn't feel like Gail Simone actually tried. I just didn't care for it. And the art, the single page by the second artist, was really jarring because it just didn't match at all. They didn't try to utilize the same style, and I don't know if it was just because they were trying to maybe show us a Wonder Woman that looks more like her own books, but just you go from these lurid, oversaturated, cartoony looking characters to suddenly a panel that's just, or a page that's very different, and it pulls you out of what little bit of story there is. And it's towards the end of that particular arc, so it doesn't, you don't get a chance to get back into it. So I found it jarring. I found it unnecessary. I didn't like it. In fact, I think that actually works for the entire first story within the book. I wasn't a fan. However, the creative teams are supposed to be on a rotating basis through this ongoing series. So if you see a writer or an artist that you like, it could definitely be worth picking up that issue, because it's not going to be about continuity. It's not going to be, well, it's issue 4, so I can't read it because I don't know what's happening. No, you're fine. Just jump into issue 4 if it's people you like. And as far as the second story, written by Amanda Deibert, the art in that one is good as well. That's by Catt, Staggs, and I think that she did a really good job for the most part. There's a couple of panels that I felt like were flat or the face looked just off, things like that. But overall, the art looked really good in it. However, this is essentially a fight scene with no context that ends up being a vehicle for a PSA. And frankly, if I want a public service announcement in my comic book, I will go to an elementary school fundraiser and get the Justice League Dare book of my childhood. I don't think I should be spending $4 for a Girls Are Important Too message in a comic book. I think girls are important. I think they're terrific. I personally am one. However, it was completely unnecessary, and just at the end of a really underwhelming book, it actually made me mad that I had bothered to read it. It just went from not good, not good, not good, not good to, oh, and we have a message for me because this is Full House. Unnecessary. Just tell me a story. That's your job. Tell me a story. And they couldn't bring that to the table. So I do not recommend this book at all. Not even a little bit. Unless you really love Joel Schumacher. In which case, look at the pretty pictures. Don't bother reading the content. But that's all for this particular review. If there's anything else you would like me to review, please let me know in the comments. You can also like and subscribe to my channel. I very much appreciate that. But in the meantime, you have a great day. Bye.